Okay, guys, we're back again. Matter of fact, this is the show called Progress, Not Perfection. I'm your coach, Coach Desmond, right now. And what I love about the show, I get a chance to bring on amazing guests going on here. Other entrepreneurs, I love featuring their stories, particularly with those who are on their way to becoming. And this one is very, very special to me because I've got to have a relationship with this young lady. And also, we got a chance to work together many years back in 2021. I was her coach going on here as she was a top seller in a large organization called Paparazzi. On that, things have moved on. She's on to bigger and better things, and I'm really excited because the transformation she has experienced has been nothing but just simply just that transformational. So, guys, without further ado, let me go ahead and bring right now to and get us all started. Nicole DeShera. Hey, how are you?
Hey, hey, Coach Desmond. It's so good to be here with you today, sir.
All
Thank you
right.
for having me.
No, matter of fact, thank you so much for blessing us with your presence here and also. And again, guys, why is Nicole being brought here? You've been hearing me talk about her all week. She lost 100 pounds and found purpose. And I want to go ahead and stop talking right now and hear directly from her. So, first of all, Nicole, 100 pounds, come on.
Yeah,
That's
yeah, crazy, right?
amazing. That's crazy. And also, Nicole, get the folks an understanding of where you were, mindset, body set, the whole different thing, and also, and what really caused you to kind of make that switch.
Yeah, great question. So when you and
Yeah.
I connected in 21, I
Hmm.
was actually in a really good place in my business,
Yeah.
but arguably in like the worst place health-wise. And
Mm-hmm.
it's such an oxymoron
Yeah.
because you can really be excelling in one area of your life and yet struggling in another. And when you are the public face of your brand,
Yeah. Yeah.
people can see you every day and have
Right.
no idea that you're
Right.
really not firing on all cylinders. And honestly, I wasn't even as aware of that as I should have been looking back on
Hmm.
it, you know?
Hmm.
But I was blessed and fortunate to connect with you. You helped
Hmm.
me to scale my business, to level up in my business, and not just in my business that I was working at the time, but also in my personal brand. And I
Hmm.
remember us talking about like intermittent fasting and things. And I don't even remember how one of our coaching calls, I don't even remember how we got on the topic, but I just
Right.
remember, I think because I was trying to work on my diet at the time. And I remember mentioning that to you. And you mentioned like intermittent fasting is a really great idea. You should do that. And you gave me a good book to read about it.
Well,
Uh,
well, hold on a second. I remember that conversation because
you,
as we were talking, you were in your car and you picked up a soda. You were drinking the soda.
it's
It's-
either soda or
it's-
Starbucks. It was probably one. Either way, I was drinking about 500 calories probably right there while we were talking.
Exactly.
You
It
know,
was something else. Yeah.
gosh,
Yeah. We're keeping it,
yeah.
guys, we're keeping it real on this show here. I mean, my goodness. And also, that's why I wanted to bring her on. She is the real deal. When I say she knows what she's talking about, she knows from whence she came. So
Listen,
continue, Nicole.
okay.
It's amazing.
And so I was in a place where my business was thriving. I
Yeah.
was doing very well on my
Yeah.
entrepreneurial journey. And for those of you that
Mm.
don't know my backstory, I had been in full-time entrepreneurship at that point from 2017 to 21
Yeah.
when we first met. I had,
Yeah.
I had, you know, a post. I got into the entrepreneurial world kind of by
Mhm.
accident. It was started
Mhm.
out, I was divorced. I had
Mhm.
small kids, 4 at the time.
Mhm.
My son now
Mhm.
is an adult, but I had
Mhm.
4 small kids, and I was just trying to rebuild my life. I was
Yeah.
trying to rebuild my life. I started
Yeah.
what I thought was going to be like a side business. I was in commercial real estate as a career. I didn't love it, but I didn't hate it. It was one of those things where it's like, I'm doing this to pay the bills. I'm a bit of an overachiever. So I got in there and I did well because that's what I do. And so,
Mhm.
but I didn't love it. I didn't have any passion for it per se.
Right.
It was helping me
Right.
to pay the bills. And then I got divorced. And if you've ever been through an event like that, most of the
Mm.
time, it takes
Mhm.
more than a toll on your emotions. For most of us, it takes a toll on your finances, on all the other parts of your life, including your health. All of those things were impacted. And
Yeah.
so I started looking for another way to make money because I
Right.
had small kids, and so
Mhm.
another job was not
Right.
the move. And
Right.
so I started, selling $5 jewelry and on the internet. And at that time, online selling, live selling had just become a thing.
Yeah.
And so I remember in 2017, I was on Periscope doing teaching series, talking about
Yeah.
your faith, talking about healing, forgiving, all the things I was going through. I'm not new to sharing the journey. I was absolutely sharing it even back then. with, my audience as we were kind of exploring the whole interactive. Now it's so common, we do it all the time.
Yeah.
Back then it wasn't. So I was on Periscope and I was doing teaching series. And then I saw a friend selling jewelry in person. And I thought, selling it on live video, okay, that wasn't a thing at the time. So I was kind of that group of people that kind of pioneered that idea. And it was, it took off like wildfire. And so I ended up losing my corporate job about 4 or 5 months into selling this jewelry on the internet. And I was like, well, okay, I guess this is what we're going to do. I started looking for another job, never found one. And in the meantime, my business just took off. And that was the start. And then when COVID hit in 2020, of course, that really catapulted things. If you were already selling online, you had just a gold mine because people had nothing but time to sit on the internet and buy stuff.
Yeah. And also, guys, for those of you guys who are chiming in right now, I'm seeing folks coming in here on the chat. And also, matter of fact, I'm talking to the amazing Nicole DeShera as an individual right now. And what you're really hearing is a matter of fact, a success to rags to now success in the making again story about how this individual was able to go ahead in her season of becoming, and in this new season of becoming has really began to go ahead and find her purpose. So we're successful in paparazzi. And I remember, because I was coaching you, your numbers were just crazy. I think you had up to 5 employees as well working with you as well?
Full-time employees, yes, 5 of them.
Full-time. Well, in fact, I mean, you are slinging jewelry like crazy going on here. Matter of fact, destroying the numbers. But even with all that success, you weren't even being recognized within the company. Talk a little bit about that. That's interesting.
Well, that was part of it. It was. And it's interesting because at the time I didn't really see it. And I feel like that is such a takeaway that we can all glean from. Sometimes you don't know. It's hard to see the picture when you're in the frame, right?
Right.
So when I was in the frame, I was hard focused on what I came there to do, which was to sell the jewelry. I came in with a goal. My goal was not popularity. I feel like people, celebrating you is like monopoly money. You can't spend it in real life. I wasn't focused on that. I was focused on getting in and getting the job done, right? I was rebuilding my life. I had a family on my back. That's what I came in focused on. And I never lost sight of that. I was always tunnel focused on providing for my children and rebuilding my life now as a single parent. Coming from a single parent context, I knew what that was like, and as a child growing up. So I knew if I didn't focus, no one was coming to save me. So I couldn't let myself get intoxicated with, the fanfare. So I never really focused on it. I was grateful for the people that I was able to connect with and impact, but I didn't realize that the value that I was bringing to the company wasn't being recognized. I really didn't realize that. I was excited and grateful that I got listen, as long as the check clears, you not calling my name on stage, I couldn't care less about that. Absolutely, as long as the check clears, okay?
Yeah.
That is what I care about. So,
but it's amazing when you're bringing this up, because it's very important for those of you guys who are joining us right now. The importance of basically being someplace where you're celebrated, just not merely tolerated.
Yeah, there we go.
Going on here. And also too, as well, bringing you on is absolutely amazing, because again, we're in the midst of depending on what you're looking at and all stuff, is where a lot of people will say, hey, listen, we're in a bit of an economic crisis, among other things. But you are going through your own personal crisis at that point in time. But the tactics that I'm hearing were the same. Matter of fact, you tighten up that chin strap there and you went all in. We got 3 kids on our back. We got to go ahead and navigate this situation. And you were tunnel focused. Going on here now, given what people are going through on that, how is that helpful? And what are you sharing with entrepreneurs or would-be entrepreneurs or individuals who maybe have been furloughed or just lost their job on what they can do, given the lessons you learned back back earlier on before you made your transition?
Yeah, absolutely. The number one thing is focus. That is the most simple. It sounds like, well, duh, but honestly, it is what I believe is under the greatest attack is your focus.
Exactly.
If your focus can be pulled this way, pulled that way, then even if you accomplish a modicum of success, you won't ever get to the real sweet spot. And not just talking tangibles, but even up here, even in your health. Like I said, I was doing very well. The bank account looked great. The accomplishments on the wall looked great. But I was losing in what arguably matters the most, which was in
Wow.
my own health, in my own
Wow.
mental health, my physical health. So when
Wow.
I look back on it, what is the most important is your focus.
Yes.
Guard your focus at all costs. There's so much noise on the news, on the internet, around the even around the dinner table, around the table with your friends and family. We're all feeling the pressure right through here in terms of what's happening in the world around us, and we
Right.
can't put our head in the sand and ignore it, because we
Mhm.
we need to be informed. We're living in this world, and so we've got to be aware of what's happening. At the same time, keep the main thing the main thing. Whatever, like I was just saying about even the lack of recognition in my previous company, I didn't get to take stages at conferences, although I had lots of value to share. I didn't get the opportunity to do a lot of things that I've now been afforded the chance to do, and we could talk about that in a minute.
Right.
But what I
Exactly.
honestly believe helped me the most was maintaining my focus. I kept the main thing the main thing. I never got intoxicated with the good or the bad. People celebrating you is nice, but you can't get intoxicated with that. People not recognizing your value can be, can feel a little like rejection, and it can be a little disheartening, but don't get intoxicated or lost on that either. Keep the main thing the main thing. Even if you're furloughed, even if you're not certain about what's coming next, ultimately it is difficult to find solutions when your mind is going all over the place. So
Wow.
guarding your focus is a key component to getting to the other side.
Matter of fact, Nicole, thank you so much for sharing that right now. That's what a lot of us are needing right now. On that, whether you're in business, whether you've been unfortunately furloughed, if you
Yeah.
will, and also a lot of individuals are now figuring out what's next going on here. And I love that advice you're going on here. So guys, let's go ahead and keep this going. So, Nicole, you're at this season right now. The business right now in paparazzi and all stuff has now begin to go ahead and go down. We're
Yeah.
at a season right now and all stuff. Tell us, when did the switch happen to where
Yeah.
you started saying, hey, I got to start recognizing what's going on in my health. I got to start making some changes. Did it even go down like that?
Yeah. So I wish I could say that it was a kind of a voluntary thing,
Yeah.
but the switch was kind of forced on me. And
Mm,
unfortunately, that's how it goes for a lot of us,
mm,
where if you don't proactively listen to your
sure.
body becomes so loud you don't have a choice,
Oh,
right?
wow.
Because
Wow.
things were going so well in the business until they weren't. And then they started
Wow.
to turn down a little bit.
Wow.
I was doing, great in my personal life, or so I thought. After horrible divorce, all the things, got remarried, thought things were going great. Everything was going great like this until it wasn't. And then it started going like
Wow.
this. And then
Wow.
all of a sudden, I had to be honest with myself that there were a lot of things happening that were not within my control. The economy, not in my control. The decisions of other people, in marriage and things like that, not within my control.
Wow.
My company, the company that I was a part of, not just the business I was building, but I was a part of a bigger, with paparazzi. They made some choices during COVID that affected my business. I couldn't make, that wasn't within my control. But what I could control, like you were saying about our conversation when I was, throwing back 500 calories, liquid calories, I could control what I was doing in my health.
Mm,
I had control over that. And I
mhm.
wasn't taking that power seriously. I was so hyper focused on what I couldn't control that I wasn't doing I wasn't doing anything about what I could, right?
Wow.
So
Wow.
I wasn't sleeping well.
Wow.
My diet was trash. My
Wow.
cortisol levels, that stress hormone in your body, I mean,
Wow.
was constantly elevated.
Yeah.
And although we are taught, especially as Black women, to manage stress, go get a massage,
Yeah.
journal,
Yeah. Yeah.
meditate. These are
Yeah.
management techniques.
Yeah.
But the
Yeah. Yeah.
truth is, the
Yeah.
goal is to eliminate stress. It is not to
Wow.
manage, because
Wow.
stress long term will destroy you. Like, that is not, a myth. That is not conjecture or opinion. That is scientific fact. So you absolutely cannot afford to ignore living in a state of constant stress. And that's what I had done for years, years. And so it caught up to me. I went from
Yeah.
being pre-diabetic to being full-blown diabetic.
Wow.
That was really the biggest wake-up call, because I had
Wow.
seen up close and personal what unmanaged diabetes can do to a person. And so when I
Wow.
got that diagnosis, I was terrified. It was like,
Wow.
whoa, okay,
Wow.
this is no longer something that I can continue to put makeup on and dress in nice clothes. Because I wasn't the
Yeah.
overweight, ugly person.
Yeah.
I was the overweight girl that was still
Yeah.
that girl. Let's be clear. And
Yeah,
so,
yeah, man, you are. If you guys follow Nicole on social media, she is quite
listen,
the
yeah,
fashionista going on here.
big or small, okay?
Going
Natural
on.
hair or weave or braids or what, it doesn't matter. I rolled out of bed like this. I was that girl, okay? And I was not lacking on confidence and I wasn't lacking on the right
Yeah,
angles. I knew
yeah.
that if you hold the phone this way, if you take a picture of me, I would tell you, okay, back it up a little and tilt it. I knew exactly what to do to make it happen. But I came face to face with this reality that no longer can it be that. It can no longer be the best way to
Mhm.
mask it. I need to deal with what's really going on here. And my body was loud
Y-
about
y-
that.
y- Yeah, and Nicole, what I love about this is the fact that you
Mhm.
raised your standard. Talking, you raised your standard. This is oftentimes what's been taught if you in fact you follow a lot of personal development, and also what you oftentimes hear is distract people make goals all the time. We all want things, but what ends up happening, we never fulfill them because we never ever change and raise our standard with that. It just becomes a wish. If you don't raise your standard, it's just a wish. And you started raising your standard, so you started walking. You started posting this. That's
Yeah.
how I know a lot about this stuff. You started doing the treadmill. You started doing that and all stuff. What started happening? What was going through your mind as you started seeing the 5 pounds off, 10 pounds off, 15 pounds off, and all stuff? And what did the weight loss translate also into in other
Yeah.
areas? I'm
So
curious.
honestly, it gave me a wind in my back that I didn't know I needed. It was at a time
Mm,
when, like I said, so many things were going wrong that I could not control. I
right,
took control in the area that I
right.
could. And that was a win,
Mm,
WIN, that produced a wind,
hmm,
WIND, that I did not
hmm,
know I needed.
hmm.
But it literally
Wow.
propelled me into not only my next business opportunity, but it also gave me
Right.
the clarity and the courage, both. Because sometimes we don't have
Hmm.
courage around
Right.
something because we don't have clarity. I'm not entirely confident in this because I'm not
Mm,
really sure about it, right? But when I get clarity,
hmm,
that
hmm,
produces a confidence and a
hmm.
courage for me to go full speed ahead. And that's
Right.
exactly what happened. I started where I
Right.
could start. I was the person who
Right.
had been up and down the scale a million times in my adult life. I had lost and found the same pounds over and over, more times than I care to admit. So I knew this time had to be different.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't need an expensive personal trainer. I didn't need an aggressive fitness program. I didn't need any fad diet that I knew I wasn't going to stick to because I had done all of those things before.
Right.
And so now here I was at my
Sure.
heaviest weight. I was 255 pounds. I'm 5'4". I have a very tall personality, but I'm
Mhm.
short in real life. So, so I'm 5'4". I was 255 and miserable. I mean, could not take a flight of stairs without being winded. You know, the old Rice Krispie
Wow.
cereal commercial, Snap Crackle Pop, was what my knees sounded like when I would take a flight of stairs. It was bad. I wasn't sleeping well. It was just all bad. So when I started the journey, I started with the awareness that aggressive, fast results wasn't the way. Not to mention, I had tried that,
Mhm.
and when I was in my 20s, I could crash diet and lose 5 pounds in a week. But now, pushing 40, that wasn't going to work anymore. My body made that very clear. So I knew,
Mhm.
okay, I'm just going to start where I can start. So I started walking, and like you said, I started documenting, and documenting was for accountability. I was terrified. This was the first time that I was sharing something that I was very ashamed of. I was very ashamed of it because of the fact that I had been loud and proud about it before. So imagine you show up online,
Mm.
you're losing weight and you're doing great. And then because you're the face of your brand, people are watching you put all that weight back on, right? You're like you said, you're on your coaching calls, talking about your business, throwing back, high calorie drinks and fast food and
This,
all that.
this girl, you are bringing up something here that comes up quite often, and thank you again. What I always appreciate with Nicole, this is the reason I want to bring her on. Matter of fact, she is totally transparent, and we love you for that. And also, but just talk about that as well because I know that was going through your head, the fear of failing in public. Most of the, as a coach, one of the things that people are oftentimes dealing with, Des, I have a fear of failure, and I said, no, you need to complete
Mm,
that sentence. You don't have a fear of failure. You have a fear of failing
public.
in
That's
public
it.
going on here. Nicole, matter of fact, sub, you were able, matter of fact, how did you get over that?
Yeah, I
Or
did.
have you?
I definitely got over it, first of all. And
Yeah,
how I
yeah,
got over
okay.
it
All right.
was I realized that you'll never be able to make the impact. I remember it very well. I remember sitting in my car
Mm-hmm.
and getting this revelation. You'll never be able
Mm-hmm.
to make the impact in the world that you need to if you allow the potential of the world's opinion to control you. Because if they're for
Wow.
you, then you're
Yeah.
high off that applause. And the same thing that
Wow.
holds you up can let you
Right.
down. So if
Right.
you allow yourself to be controlled, being aware, being mindful is leadership sensibility, right? It's prudent to be aware. So I'll never be the person to say
Mm-hmm.
you shouldn't care about what people think. No, if you want to lead people, influence people, that only works if somebody's willing to listen
Right.
to you. So you do have to be aware of how your
Yeah.
messaging lands. You do have to be
Right.
aware on how you're showing up. But awareness and
Mm-hmm.
hyper focus are not the same. And some people have a hyper focus
Right.
on, I don't want to do this because, like you said, I'm afraid if I fail in public, what people will think, what people will say. Well, you'll have
Right.
people that'll have something to
Yeah.
say. You'll have people that have something to say either way,
Yeah.
right? And so ultimately,
Yeah.
I
Either
got
way.
over it
Either
because I
way. Yeah.
realized there's far too
Mm.
many more people that stand to be blessed by the transparency of my journey than those who will judge the failures, the ups and downs of my journey. The numbers are just way too imbalanced for me to worry about these people when the number of people that I can impact, and that impact mattered more to me. And it mattered more to me because I knew it was a
Yeah.
part of my life purpose. I knew part of the reason I was born was to make an impact. I can't do that if I'm hostage to the opinions of people.
Guys, like I said, right now, I'm hoping you guys are taking notes on this as well. Guys, you've been watching Progress on Perfection. I'm Coach Desmond. We have our special guest here, Nicole DeShera, entrepreneur and also fashionista, as we've already mentioned overall, but most of all, a person who has lost over 100 pounds. Matter of
Yeah.
fact, in just about over a year, wasn't it? It's about a year on that. So let's go ahead and transition to this as well. I want to make sure people are always asking, well, dear, how did you do that? So we know, matter of fact, as you've been basically doing that, but also that actually led you to actually
Yeah.
your new business
Yeah.
venture. Talk a little bit about that. What's the name of the company and how has that been helpful in helping you and
Yeah,
also
so I
helping
saw
others?
someone, and shout out to Grace Gagner. I did not know her personally,
Mm-hmm.
but I think this is powerful. I did not
Mm-hmm.
know her personally, had never had a conversation with
Mm-hmm.
her, but I followed her online, and
Mm-hmm.
she started
Mm-hmm.
sharing her story about weight loss, and she's a boutique
Mm-hmm.
owner. So I followed her because I started a
Mm-hmm.
boutique. I left
Got
paparazzi
it.
and started my own
Sure.
boutique,
Sure.
and I started
Got it.
following
Right.
people that were doing well what I aspired to do. That's a little note. If you're taking notes,
Sure.
write that down. Follow the people, research where you intend to go. And it doesn't always require a personal conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes if you just click the follow button and watch what you see, you get more is caught than what is taught. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
watching her for the business. Then
Yeah.
she starts talking about her weight and talking about
Right.
losing weight. And she's found these plant-based supplements with this company called Trinat. And Trinat is a French word that means to change quickly, to change lives quickly is what
Mm-hmm.
happens with these products. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
the person who had done every diet you can think of, who had, again, personal trainers, fitness programs. I
Sure.
had done all of these things over the course of my adult life. Here I am now in my 40s. It was time to
Mm-hmm.
figure out something that I knew was sustainable. But I also knew that with age, especially for
Mm-hmm.
women, so much hormonal changes happen that you really do need support. So I started listening to this woman talk about her story, and it resonated with me. I reached out to her and I asked her, I said, hey, I know you don't know me, but I would love to get some more information about what you're doing because I need it. I need in my life what you have. And so she gave me the information, got me on a call, got me some more information with some more people in the company that were doing well. And so I started using the supplements, all to rave are weight loss shots. And as a diabetic, I was given the weight loss shot for diabetes, okay, not for weight loss. And it helped my diabetes, but didn't do anything for me in the weight loss department. And so I felt like that was a gift, like, because if it had worked for me with weight loss, I probably wouldn't have sought out
Yeah.
any other measure, right?
Right.
But I didn't want
Right.
to be on shots forever. I didn't want to inject myself with synthetic, all the side effects, that people were talking about. I was very concerned about that. So I was like, if there's a way for me to not do that and get my blood sugar levels and diabetes and stuff under control, I want to go after it. So I talked to my doctor, and my doctor was like, diabetes is reversible, especially at your age and especially with the numbers. They're not so bad for you that you can't reverse this if you're willing with diet and exercise. And so I'm like, all right, well, here's these supplements I found. Are they safe? And the doctor's like, yeah, give it a shot. And if it works, then we can get you off the prescription meds. So I started doing that. And then I partnered with the company, but with great hesitation. And I share that
Mm-hmm.
because I'm a very confident person by nature. When I go into something, I go in all in. I don't put my name and my energy on things that I don't believe in. So for me, it was like, I have always, been the person that has carried my weight proudly, but I've carried my weight for a long time. So in my mind, it was like, how credible can I be in this space? Because I'm overweight. So who's going to listen to me about wellness supplements? Okay, what I'm going to do is just focus on my own health. And if it works out that the business part comes together, all right, fine. But I wasn't very confident about the business. I just wanted the supplements, and I saw them work for someone else. So I focused on the fact that if it works for her, hopefully it'll work for me. Let's give it a try. So I did. And I ended up finding not only that the products worked, but that the compensation plan was next level, that the community was next level. Everything that I was not necessarily looking for, but that I genuinely needed, I almost stumbled into it, really just looking to get my own health back on track.
And matter of fact, and obviously, guys, the proof is in the pudding. Going on here, and also 255 down. Matter of fact, you say 255 now. We're
152. 152.
Come on, come
So 103 is the official math on that. Yeah.
And matter of fact, and this has also been affecting your children as well, hasn't it?
Yes. So I was an overweight teenager.
Right.
And another catalyst for a wake-up call for me was watching 2 of my 4 children. So my son is an adult now. He's 24, and he's active military. So I'm an Army mom. He joined the military almost 3 years ago. And he and my middle daughter are the skinny ones in the group. Okay. They have the high metabolism. They eat whatever they want. Doesn't show up anywhere. I'm just like, where does it go? I don't know.
Right.
And then my other 2 are just like me. We love food. We're emotional eaters. And unfortunately, they were starting to mirror my habits. And as a parent, that's a wake-up call. When you start to see your children follow in your footsteps in all the wrong ways, it is a wake-up call that we collectively got to do something different. So I started to see my oldest daughter and my youngest daughter really struggle with their weight. And my oldest daughter really wanted to do something about it. And she was 15 at the time, turning 16. And we started doing it together. When I started walking, I took her walking out with, it was a family thing. We're all going out to walk, and when I started changing my diet, not going on a diet, but changing my diet, meaning we're going to get out of the fast food line. We're going to cook more at home. We're going to get rid of the highly inflammatory oils, and we're going to start doing the air fry thing more, and just small, sustainable choices that I knew we could do as a family. So I wasn't on a crash diet. That, also could be good habits for them to form as teenagers, as adolescents, that would hopefully prevent them from going down the road I had gone down of struggling with my weight for all of my adult life. So my oldest daughter, who is now 16, has lost 50 pounds with me in the last year. And she's done it with the same plant-based supplements that I've been using.
So we're dancing around this and also as well. Let's go ahead and get this on the screen here. Matter of fact, he says Trinot, and also Trinot, T-R-E-N. Yeah.
T-R-A-N-O-N-T, Trinot.
Okay, Trinot. Okay. Matter of fact, Trinot.com, I imagine, where people can go ahead and find out more about that. And also, or more importantly, get in contact with you and also as well. Let me go ahead and see if we go ahead and get this on here real quick, because this is so powerful. In fact, we're going to go ahead and show that on the screen here. So let's get that going on there. And let's go ahead and show that. But so can you see? Matter of fact, Trinot, and also we got it up there as well. But Trinot, T-R-A, that's the correct spelling, correct?
That's correct. Yeah.
All right, wonderful and all stuff. So this is that. But more importantly, people are looking and they're saying, "My goodness, girl, I want to get with you." How do we go ahead and get with you? I mean, that's
so my name is Nicole DeShera on all the handles. So Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all of that. Nicole DeShera is where you can find me. On Trinot's website, it's trinot.com/Nicole DeShera. So literally you can find me on all those platforms. One of the things that I've been blessed to do, I have over 200, almost 300 customers. Wow. People that have purchased products from me, some of which I've done really intense coaching with them on the wellness stuff. And not because I'm a guru. I've literally just shared with them what I have done. I'm not a nutritionist. I'm not a personal trainer. I don't have certifications in any of that stuff. I know people that do. So if you want a personal trainer, I have one. If you want somebody that can help you on the nutrition side, I know a really good nutritionist. So I definitely have some great connections if people want that. But what I've been blessed to do with the business arm of Trinot is share the products that have worked for me, give people the routine that I use and that my daughters use,
Yeah.
and, allow them to kind of be a part of a community of us. And I think that's really one of the best parts is the community. When you can really lock in with other people, real
Yep.
life stories, real
Yep.
life journey,
Right.
that are on the same journey as you. I think that's
Yep.
really why it's been such a blessing and why
That's
people have
huge.
really resonated with it.
This is huge. And also, well, Nicole, I am so glad, and I know a lot of you guys are glad too as well. What an amazing interview! What an amazing story. Matter of fact, I speak on behalf of everybody who's seeing you. We're so incredibly proud of you, and thank you for being an inspiration. And please don't stop
Thank
going
you.
on here as well. This is literally just beginning, and most of all, this is your new season for success. I already see it all over you
Thank
going
you.
on here. So, guys, listen, if you were blessed by what you heard here today, inspired by that, maybe you saw a lot of what's going on in Nicole in you, go to the website at matter-of-fact-you're-not.com, get in contact with her. Also, Nicole DeShera,
Yeah.
that you can find her all her social media handles. Go ahead and reach out to her as well. And again, if you like what you heard here today, post in the comments. Love to go ahead and get your thoughts on what you thought about today's interview. Thank you so much, Nicole, for being on this episode of Progress, Not Perfection.
Thank you, Coach Desmond. If
All
I
right.
could really quick throw it back to you before we end, I just
No
want
problem.
to encourage you publicly because the encourager needs encouragement. And
Oh,
sometimes we forget that. But
wow.
progress over perfection is not just a show, it's not just a podcast, it's not just a live stream. It's a mantra that you have lived by for a long time. And that as one of your coaching clients, I can say, if I go back to my old notebook, because I keep these notebooks, right? If I go back to
Oh
my
my,
old notebook,
oh my gosh, she's got
right,
receipts. Yes, yeah, okay.
I have receipts. And I remember because the reason that I shout out to my mom. She's was an English teacher for over 30 years. I grew up with this mantra. She's always told us the importance of note taking. And as a visual learner, I will never, it's ingrained in my mind because I remember hearing you say that to me on one of our first coaching sessions, and it stayed with me. If I go back to that journal, I
Wow.
can see it in my mind, writing that down. The goal is progress over
Wow.
perfection. So I just want to encourage
Mm,
you for all the lives that you have impacted, both in your coaching
thank you.
one-on-one, the way that you do, which guys, if you're watching this and you need a business coach or you're thinking about a business coach, but you're just not sure, is it really worthwhile? Everybody's selling something on the internet. I don't know. I
Wow.
will tell you, as a person that has done a lot, that has gained a lot, that has lost a lot, that has experienced a lot, I can honestly tell you one of the best investments I have made is in a coach. Because
Wow.
even if you are coaching other people, I'm a business
Right.
leader. And so I
Right.
coach other leaders. I
Right. Right.
absolutely, I could not recommend more highly Coach Desmond because not only
Oh,
is he genuinely anointed for the task, like literally God has put his hand on this man to coach people at a high level, but he genuinely cares. Some people are really good at what
wow.
they do, but they don't actually care about it. It's like it's a means to an end.
Wow.
I can honestly tell you
Wow.
guys, if you're watching this, get with Coach Desmond, be a part of his programs. Don't just come and listen to these podcasts. They're powerful. He's doing something amazing by bringing on people with real life stories. But if you need a coach, if you need to get to the next level, if you're already doing well, when I started coaching with Coach Desmond, I was already doing well. I was looking to scale. And I had no idea that I was about to take a nosedive. And can I tell you,
Wow.
even when, I'll transparently say, even when I could not afford to coach with him, he reached out to me. He checked on me. He celebrated me. That's what people do
Mm,
when they really care about you. When you're not just
mm,
a high ticket, I wasn't a high ticket paying client anymore. And he
right.
still cared
Right.
about my journey, still cheered me
Mm,
on, still wanted to know how I was doing, still wanted to know how he could support me in what I was doing. So I want you guys to know you're looking at a person who is absolutely that guy. He knows what he's talking about. I can give you value upon value of pieces he gave me that I'm still using years later. And I can honestly tell you, he's one of the most quality people I have had the pleasure to work with. So I want to
oh
encourage
my
you, Coach.
gosh.
Thank you for everything you've invested in me. And I pray that more and more people come into the knowledge of who you are and come into your program because you are
Oh,
Please.
thank you so much, Nicole.
You're amazing.
My goodness.
You are.
Oh my gosh, you can make a guy cry on his own show. My goodness. Damn you, Nicole. Got it. All right. Okay. All right. Well,
Thank you
guys,
so
thank you
much.
so much. Again, I hope you guys have enjoyed this show as much as I have. I'm Coach Desmond. This is Nicole DeShera. This has been Progress, Not Perfection. I hope you enjoyed yourself. Until next time, guys, take care. God bless you on your journey. Don't stop.
Thank you, Coach.
See you
Bye,
next time.
everybody.
Bye bye.